I'm Marshall Pitts.
Module Pitts.
I'm Myron Pitts.
And we are MP3.
MP3.
Welcome to the MP3 show with Marshall, Module, and Myron, three blood brothers who talk about politics, sports, and entertainment. We're very happy to have you tune in today. So, Myron, let's take it away.
Yeah, we're talking today, fellas, about the employment situation for black women, and particularly black women who have degrees, sometimes advanced degrees, right, who are struggling during this new era, the new Trump administration era. So we're following up on a piece we read in the Washington Post. I would strongly recommend it, and the title kind of indicates, the headline kind of indicates what it's about. It says, 4 black women, 9 degrees, not one steady paycheck. And they interview, the focus is on the state of Arkansas,
right,
which has I guess you call it an oddity in the sense that the white unemployment rate
is lower than the national average.
Is lower than the national
black
average.
Unemployment rate is higher than the national.
Is well above
right.
the national average, and it's not, and it tracks with some national trends. What they're showing, there's a couple things happening. And it started really in 2025, the first full year of the new Trump administration, or near full year. First, there were a lot of cuts to federal jobs. We know about Department of Government Efficiency. DOGE cut a lot of federal jobs, often based on just AI said, hey, this job is doing DEI or something, and that affected black women disproportionately. The other thing that's going on is the push against DEI. And so one of the women they quoted in here who's out there trying to get a job, what they're finding or what they believe is happening is that a lot of white men are being encouraged to file suits to say they were discriminated against. So they believe
anytime a black woman gets a job,
anytime a black woman gets a job, they think that is costing them opportunities. And 2 of the women they interviewed are good friends. And they talked about one who, she has her master's degree. She had a good job before. And now she's looking at a part-time customer service job for $16.61 an hour. Now, a lot of people would be glad to get that, but it's far below what she was earning before.
Right.
And they're having trouble just getting getting a job anywhere.
Which always indicates in the room. So I wonder when they're having those hiring managers in the room and they're interviewing people, and they've got this mandate, especially with the state jobs and stuff. And federal jobs. They're saying themselves, well, there's DEI out there, and now whereas before they would look at everybody on a level. Because
a lot of them would try to diversify.
Yeah, they tried to diversify. Right. Now they're saying to themselves, we no longer have to do that.
Yeah.
And the saddest part about that.
And might be punished for doing that.
And might be punished for doing that. And the saddest part about that, there are some other black people that are in those hiring positions that are making them same decisions, feel that they're having to make them same decisions by passing
over African.
So now you've got a white male, white woman, a black female, and then every now and then you'll sprinkle some brothers into the job market. And so, and you have to make the decision based on what might happen to you if you hire this black man
as a manager, as a hiring manager.
You're having to make a decision based on what might happen to you and your job if you decide to hire this black female. Not only that, they have the extra added baggage of being hard to work with. Women have that baggage, that perception.
Okay, I'm glad you threw perception in there.
What show is this?
We're not going to always agree. but they have that added perception of being difficult to work with. They have that added perception of, angry about this or that or the other thing, or have that added perception of being smarter than everyone else and those type of things. So you add all that into the pot together, and then you start seeing why a hiring manager might say to himself, well, you know what, I'm just going to hire somebody a lot of times lesser qualified.
And just to show you
so if a strong, assertive black female interviews, you saying that's a negative for that people who are doing the hiring.
First of all, yes, it could be
Right.
for a black woman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking you about.
But I know that when I was a hiring manager, I'm looking for somebody that's going to be assertive.
Right.
I don't want anyone that's coming in there meek and mild because of the type of job that we did.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to looking for somebody who's going to come in there all quiet and meek and mild and those type of things.
Yeah.
I'm looking for somebody who's going to be assertive and it can here I am and I'm the best person for this
But
job.
you think would you say for most white male employers, it's a different way of looking at it? They don't think that way. They don't want the super assertive African American black woman to come into that position.
I think that sometimes they can be intimidated.
Right.
And I've known some to be.
Especially for a weak man.
Right. So it's like they young.
And Myron said it best, especially for a weak manager.
Who's a weak manager is very much challenged by someone who may be smarter than them, or maybe assertive than him, or just stronger than them.
Right. So
and they can sense that.
So
as a young people would say, a manager like that, a weak manager don't want that smoke.
No, you don't want to deal with that.
You don't want that smoke.
And I wonder how DEI and all of this is also affecting, let's say, the Asian community or the other communities of color. I wonder how is it affecting them
It's
also.
interesting because it definitely has affected the black community. So traditionally, historically, the black unemployment rate has been twice the white unemployment rate. So basically 2 to 1. Under Biden, it became closer than it ever has been, 1.6 to 1. So for every one unemployed white person, that's 1.6. So now it's gone completely the other way.
Which is what the current administration wanted it to do.
Exactly. So Mark H. Morial, he's been president of the National Urban League.
Yeah, used to be the mayor of New Orleans when I was mayor.
Yeah. He's president of the National Urban League. He says, quote, "I cannot find another period outside of a significant economic downturn when the black unemployment rate has deteriorated this much, this fast. It's affecting every region of the country and has taken out people who followed the script. They went to college, they climbed the corporate ladder, and voila, they're out of work."
We didn't mention this, but black women are getting their degrees at a higher rate than just about everybody else. Everybody else, yeah.
Whites, blacks, everybody.
And so, so you compare those two together, they're really pursuing their higher education, but they're not getting the benefits on the back end.
They were, though. They were. Right. And so which
is what this administration meant to stop.
I know.
And so, and Trump has been very successful. President Trump has been very successful with his DEI and his mandate, successful as far as negative when it comes to people that should be hired.
He's got jobs and employers fearful.
He does. He does. And he's showing by example what he wants, not just these cuts in the federal government and in other parts of the federal government, but even in the military. He's blocking promotions for people of color and for women.
And for whites who do engage in
what he calls DEI. Right. And this it's hard to, being in corporate America, I've seen this shift. The company I work for, it hasn't been as dramatic, but there has been a shift from favoring diversity, going for wanting it, to, hey, we can't touch that.
Right.
And that has affected so many people, not just black women, but women in general and black people in general. And who remembers
people of color in general?
People of color.
That's the reason why.
They've done it at universities too. I mean, when you talk about the Trump administration, how they sued universities and saying,
through the Department of Education.
Yeah, we're going to stop giving you these dollars.
And local school systems as well.
And that's the reason why when people start saying things about this country being post-racial, when you start hearing stuff, it sounds so silly now.
You don't find many people saying it.
It sounds so. Well, you have people saying it, but they
not like they did. Not like they did
after the election of Barack Obama.
Right. You have people saying it, conservative people that are saying it, and and some of them actually still do believe that. They still.
I don't know. If
they verbally saying it.
They verbally say, "I agree."
Right.
Yeah, so they're pretending.
But so when you get around affirmative action, when you get around all those things, and then you start saying, "Well, we're just gonna let people hire who they want to hire. And I'm telling you, as a hiring manager, as one of the ones who either sat in the room or in those rooms where I wasn't the primary person, I was just helping with the interviews. I'm telling you, when a person leaves out, there's a conversation about that person.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's right.
How they were dressed.
Yeah, of course, right. Yeah.
What their hair looked like.
Right.
You know, I'm not just talking about blacks, but whites too. You know. Do you see the shoes he had? You said, is that suit appropriate?
Yeah, right.
And then at some point you get around to how he answered the questions.
After all that,
how he or she answered the questions. That's what we done got around to.
Yeah.
I've heard another hiring manager say, we can't. It was about a black lady too.
Yeah.
I wasn't the primary person.
Right.
But
You sold out.
No, I didn't sell out.
You didn't speak up.
I'm gonna tell you what I said. So it was about a sister girl.
Right.
Sister girl, you know, she was well put in. She was very nice looking.
Okay.
Very nice looking. Very educated. Master's degree.
Right.
And then we had some other folks come in there, and then one of the ladies who was at the table, he said, I wouldn't be able to bring her down here. She would destroy my office. She looked too good.
That's terrible. Did she not get a job?
No, she didn't get the job. I wouldn't have hired. I got outvoted 3-1 because the other two people work with her. They work with her. I didn't work with her. I'm outside.
Right.
I'm saying, well, she got a master's degree. I mean, she looked,
It looks like
It is what it is.
And then she did great on the interview. It wasn't just.
So she knew that she would have done good.
She felt threatened by it.
Right.
Yeah.
She felt. She felt
and there are
threatened.
subjective standards, and that's why it's so sad, really, almost tragic.
So you had your pom-poms out. Bring her in.
Yeah.
Bring her in.
Listen. When the lady left the interview, I said, "Oh, this is a no-brainer."
Yeah.
She was the last. She was the last interview.
Yeah.
Last interview of the day. She came in. I'll never forget. She came in like 3:30, 4 o'clock. And then and she came in, like I said, she was dressed nice.
Yeah.
She was assertive. She had all the degrees. She had the experience. She answered the questions like she's supposed. What you want out of an interview. And then everyone was nodding their heads. Oh yeah, she did a great job. And then when she left out, the one who was the hiring manager was like, "We can't bring her in the office. The women will be so just. She'll destroy our office."
I think.
And I'm looking around like, huh? And then her two people that were under her.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And she didn't get the job.
So, and that was that.
I think one thing that shows the change in tone that's been devastating. It used to be an expression, twofer. That's what they would use.
Right.
I know that expression.
Right.
It means if you hired a woman of color, a black woman, you actually hit 2 diversity goals.
Right.
Women
and color.
and person of color,
Right.
and now that has been turned against
Now that's an offer.
African American women.
Now it's an offer.
Right. That's the way it's seen by my managers.
Now you're 0 for 2 instead of 2 for 2 when it comes to that.
Yeah,
or
we
at
got
least
work
that's how
to
they
do.
look at it.
Right.
So I would think that, things will get better. The pendulum hopefully will swing back.
It'll swing back, and
And,
then it might swing back
Here we
again.
go with all these.
You gotta be optimistic.
All these Jesse Jacksons. Keep hope alive.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know where the pendulums are going to swing. Sometimes the pendulum swings and stays up there for a long time.
It might.
For a long period of time.
And it might change in a minute.
But anyway, we got to get out of here. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I am Marshall Pitts.
Module pitch.
I'm Byron Pitts.
And we are
MP3.